Good day, tokers and tokettes, and welcome to day one of the Drug Policy Alliance Biennial Reform Conference, the international conference here in Denver, Colorado at the Sheraton Hotel. And a pretty big turnout so far. It's just about 8:30 in the morning, maybe 9 a.m. People are coming in here for the meet and greet, the early continental breakfast. We're going to walk around, take a look around, see who we can run into here. I've seen a few friends as we've first gotten here. I see Diane Goldstein over here, so we'll go back Diane. So here we have all the hey everybody!
Hey Russ, good morning Russ Belleville.
Diane from LEAP.
It's Radical Russ.
I know they even spelled it right.
It's a big shout out to the Radical Russ fans and show out there. My favorite activist.
Aw, that's sweet. I'm blushing.
It's not sweet, it's the truth.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I love all the LEAP gear.
Yeah.
Oh, the LEAP patch. Now, see?
It's an iron-on patch.
Even I can handle
You
that.
don't have a pin on you.
I don't, and I've got LEAP pins, but I need more. So we'll do the LEAP pin thing here. And then here we have Dan Whipple from the Marijuana Policy Project. Again, the sweet folks hanging out here, taking care of us all. So as you can see, are we going steady now? All right. All sorts of LEAP folks. I see SSP across the way.
I'm sorry, did I say that on radio?
We can say orgasm. This is the 21st century.
It is.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And so we've got all sorts of panels we're going to be covering today. We'll get you the live coverage. We got Terry Nelson from LEAP. Hi, Terry.
How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
TR,
Tony Ryan.
How
are you, sir?
Tony, good to see you, sir.
The face of Amendment 64.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, well, somebody had to do it.
Well, let's take a little more look around. We'll see you later. That's one of my favorite things right here. Constitution. We ought to look into that more. And in this book is definitely one you can check out. Rise of the Paramilitary Police Rates in America. Radley Balco is one of the best writers on this issue. Paramilitary policing. He's got another book coming out very soon, so definitely check that out.
Yes.
Very nice. Sex, drugs, gambling, chocolate, addictions. Hi, how are you?
Good morning, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Russ with 420 Radio, and I was caught by your sign that said 12-step isn't for everyone. I just did a story recently of an atheist man who had received some compensation from the state because when he was on probation, they forced him to go to a religious 12-step.
Yes.
And he fought First Amendment, violated his rights,
Yes.
and won.
Yes.
So is that kind of what you guys are into? What is this
Well,
program?
that's a separate issue, which I'll talk about in a moment. But 12-step based treatment is effective for some people, but no approach works for everybody.
Sure.
And therefore, we need to have some alternatives. When you go to a 12-step group, the fundamental message is your individual willpower is insufficient to solve this problem. When you come to a program like ours, we say, yes, your personal willpower is weak, and it's caused a lot of problems, but we are going to increase that willpower and increase your good habits over time so that you can finally overcome addiction problems. So it's a very different approach, going to the same place.
Okay. And so you, what do you think, I mean, how do we work this in the criminal justice system where I see a lot of people that judges force them to go to some sort of 12-step? You're providing the alternative for that?
It is now illegal in the United States for the government to order someone to a 12-step program. And decisions in the 2nd, 3rd, 7th, 8th, and 9th Federal Circuit Courts of Appeal have affirmed that decision. A lot of people don't know about it, and there will probably be many more lawsuits to enforce it. But the government, these court decisions, have determined that AA is religious enough, that the government cannot order you to attend. It can order you to go to treatment and you can choose the type. It can order you to attend a support group and you can choose the type.
Okay, that's great news now. It's Practical Recovery Service. There's the info for you folks. La Jolla, California, practicalrecovery.com. And I appreciate what you're doing. because I think this is very important.
Thank you very much.
My father is a recovered alcoholic since 1980. He went back to college, got a social work degree, and became a counselor in drug and alcohol. So it's got a personal meaning to me, and I'm glad that we've got more options out there.
The more options we have, the more people we are likely to pull into recovery, and that's what we want to do.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you,
sir.
Tom, so much. Appreciate it. Have a great conference.
Thank you.
See, we have all sorts of interesting things. Fully Informed Jury Association. These are some people you definitely need to check out, folks. FIJA. And you're with FIJA?
I am.
Hi, and you're Kirsten?
Kirsten.
Kirsten.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Kirsten. And I've talked about this on my show many times about, even going back before our founders, how this was, kind of a fundamental part of English law.
Exactly.
Kind of explain to people how this interfaces with drug law reform.
Okay. Well, yes, you're right. It does date back to English law. In fact, the most famous case was that of William Penn in England. And then it came over to America through the colonies. And what it is the right of the juror to refuse to convict if they believe that even if they believe the defendant is guilty, if they think a just verdict requires it. And in the case of drug law, we see so many people who are selectively prosecuted, who are maliciously charged with excessive numbers of charges, and oftentimes aren't even doing anything that harms anybody else. And what we tell everyone is that if there is no victim, there is no crime. So in the case of drug laws, you can obviously see a lot of applications where jurors can simply refuse to enforce the law. And in fact, there is a parallel for this, which is the alcohol prohibition. During the days of alcohol prohibition, numerous juries refused to convict, so many so that it helped undermine alcohol prohibition and bring about the repeal in just 12 or 13 years. Whereas we've had the drug war for 40 years plus. So I'm hopeful that if we educate enough people, we will start seeing juries, and in fact we already do see many juries that refuse to convict even if they believe the defendants are guilty. In Montana, there was actually a case in which they couldn't even seat a jury because of 27 jurors or potential jurors, they were trying to get 12 for a jury. Only 5 said that if they believed the defendant was guilty, they would convict. The other jurors were like, why are we even here? It was for a 1/16 of an ounce of pot. Nobody had been harmed.
Wow.
It was a ridiculous case. And that actually made national news because they couldn't even seat a jury, and the judge sent the prosecutor and the defense back to work out a deal. And of course, the defendant was in a position of power there and got a plea deal that it didn't even involve him admitting guilt. So even if it didn't get to a jury, you can kind of see the power. And Professor Paul Butler actually wrote about that and called it jury nullification 2.0. But we're seeing lots of cases where numerous people are getting eliminated right off the start because so many people are just like, I'm not even going to be complicit in that. That's ridiculous. That person has harmed nobody. I have no right to harm that person. I'm not going to participate. So
That's wonderful. And one of the things that frustrates me about this issue is it seems such a fundamental right of juries, yet it's so hard to tell them about that anywhere near the courtroom.
that is actually true, but we do have a lot of activists who stand outside courthouses and distribute literature and do so without getting in trouble. We have some guidelines on our website for anyone who's interested in doing that. We generally use as our line of demarcation the public sidewalk because that is a traditionally, fundamentally recognized venue for free speech, and that's of course what we're doing. But it is very difficult to get this information to people. Once they get inside the courthouse, they will either be uninformed or they will be explicitly misinformed in the courtroom by the judge, who often tells jurors that they must convict if they believe the law has been broken, even though that is not true. Jurors cannot be punished for their verdicts. So whatever verdict you are led to by your conscience, that is what we want you to vote. And we encourage you to stick to your vote because even if the other jurors disagree with you, a hung jury is much better for the defendant than a conviction. An appeal is a very difficult thing. They may be imprisoned in the meantime. Their relationships are being destroyed. Their livelihood is being taken away from them. Definitely hang the jury if you cannot convince the other jurors to vote with you. I suggest not discussing jury nullification openly during deliberations because while you can't be punished for your verdict, you can, even as far along as deliberations, be removed from the jury if you make clear that you know about jury nullification. However, you can't be removed if you, for the purpose of, if you're expressing doubt about the defendant's guilt. So if you feel that you need to say something, you can always say, you know, in my heart, I can't convict this person. So.
Very good information, Kirsten. It's FIJA.org. It's something everyone has, but nobody can talk about. So make sure you know about it.
Well, we tell everyone we'll talk about it everywhere, you know, and these courthouses where it's kind of a secret are a tiny little, you know, percentage of where we educate. So our classroom is everywhere.
Fantastic. Great work. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Take care.